Okay, welcome everyone. And it's Friday, so that means Friday nights on Ion. And the first game, we had the Indiana Fever taking on the Atlanta Dream. And Atlanta's been playing really well. But boy, the Fever took it to them in the second half. Congratulations, Indiana Fever. Boy, that was a stomping in this, especially in the fourth quarter. Outscored them like 30 points in the fourth quarter. Ended up winning 99. I don't know let me pull that up here. What was the final score? 99 to 82. So, very good game, Indiana. That was a team effort. You had I think 5 people in double figures. 4. You had 4 people in double figures. Kelsey Mitchell had 25, Caitlin Clark had 12, Aaliyah Boston had 19, and then you had Sophie Cunningham. I mainly cover the Valkyries. I cover everybody, but the Valkyries are the team that's closest to me. So we just played Atlanta. And it's funny because someone commented on the video I did for Atlanta who was a Indiana Fever fan. And he said, well, geez, I hope you're giving me hope that, the Fever can beat him. And mainly the thing I said to him was if Atlanta is hitting their threes, they're really hard to beat. And what do you know? Other than Jordan Canada and Ryan Howard had some, but most of that was in the first half. And otherwise, there's 0 for 1, 0 for 3, 1 for 6. Like in the game, where is she? Naz Hillman. Naz Hillman hit 4 of them right in the end. Because the score was pretty similar to what the Indiana Fever just went through, except instead of the Valkyries putting that down, the Atlanta got the Valkyries. So let's go over a few things here. It was a great game all around, lots of assists. They were commenting on that on the TV. The announcers, 27 assists. That's phenomenal. They, excuse me, they also, Atlanta's such a big team, but Indiana outscored them in the paint 40 to 34. That's terrific. If you're doing that, you're going to beat Atlanta. And if they're not hitting threes, biggest lead 20 points. That was the culmination of everything happening in the fourth quarter. Bench points. This is where the Fever got a lot of help on the bench with bench points. Well, 16 of them was Sophie Cunningham. So 29 to 16. Turnovers were equal, 17. Points off turnovers were similar. So turnovers weren't the issue. It was more, having Sophie Cunningham hit those threes in the end, and then Kelsey Mitchell. She was 3 for 7, but she hit some late that gave the Fever, that lead. So good game, Fever. Way to close out a game. That was the way to do it. That was definitely the way to do it. So you had, by scoring by quarters, Atlanta outscored them in the first 23 to 21. Then also in the second, 22 to 19. So it was like I think it was a 5 point. Is that 5 points? 2 and 3. Yeah, 5-point lead. And then Indiana took the lead in the third, outscored them 29 to 20, and then 30 to 17 to just, make no doubt that they were going to win this game. So congratulations, 99 to 82. And let's see. So Indiana is now, where's the darn? Sometimes they don't put the records. I believe Indiana's 10 and 10, and Atlanta is 12 and now 8, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can't find them anywhere. Anyway, so the shooting percentages were pretty similar. 3-point percentage, 37.9. For Atlanta, the Fever were 36.7. And then field goal percentage, Atlanta was 44.8 and the Fever was 46.1. So, but you know what the difference was is when it was scored. The Fever were hitting all their shots down the stretch and hitting threes. So good for them. Let's see what we got. Caitlin Clark had 9 assists, 2 turnovers, and 4 rebounds, and 12 points. Excuse me. Sophie Cunningham had 10 rebounds. That's good for her. Wow. Okay. Aaliyah Boston had 6 rebounds and 8 assists. That's a lot of passing. You know, I've always been a believer in, having a team win, not a star. There's so much emphasis on, oh, you got to have a star. You got to have a star. But you know what? It's a lot harder to stop a team than it is one person or even two, because you can clamp down on 2 players. But if you have 5, the Fever showed, hey, it doesn't have to be just Caitlin Clark. But if you have Mitchell, you have Sophie Cunningham, you have Boston, and you have, who's the other person? And Howard. Howard didn't, let's see, how much did Howard have? Let's see. She had 7 rebounds, 9 points. So she was almost in double figures. But if you have all those people scoring, and Dantas had 7, Ari McDonald had 6, Lexi Hill had 5, that's a nice distribution of points. It's wonderful. Wonderful. It's very hard to stop that. And, you get on a roll, and then it's just like a ball rolling downhill. So, Atlanta, I was happy to see Brian Howard come back in the game. That looked like I think it was in the second quarter where it looked like I've hyperextended my knee. That's what it looked like when she came down and her knee just bent backwards. She'll probably be wearing that knee brace from now on and not go without it. She's been wearing it on and off. She did well. I mean, she shot 4 for 8 from 3 and 5 for 11 from overall for 45%. 14 points. She had 3 blocks, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Brian Howard's a great player. I mean, she was not the number 1 pick for nothing a couple years ago. Brianna Jones only had 6. That hurt them. Because when the Valkyries played them, Brianna Jones had a lot more than 6. Brittany Griner, 10 points. You were able to contain her for the most part. She had 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 3 turnovers, 1 assist. And she had a steal. Alicia Gray, here's a big one. Alicia Gray, 6 points. You keep her. She was 1 for 6 from 3. She normally scores 20, 25 points. She's been one of the leading scorers in the league. And to do that, you do that to Atlanta. I mean, Canada had a fantastic first half. I think she had 26 points in the first half. She ended up with 30. So their leading scorer only had 4 points in the second half. That makes a big difference. She was 11 for 22, 50% from the floor, 6 for 11 from 3. But like I said, that was almost all of it in the first half. And then nothing. She had 8 assists. Yeah, she had 8 assists and let's see, 1 turnover. That's great for a point guard. She didn't get any help. Hillman killed us. She had 16 points for the Atlanta. She only had 3 points. She was 0 for 3. She had a much better game when we played them. So that was pretty much it. Let's see, go down the scoring here. Coffey had 7 points. Caldwell had 6. Hillman 3. Jordan Kane had 30. Okay, we got those players. And that was pretty much it for 82 points. So, yeah, good game, Fever. Congratulations. Way to get a win. Okay, we'll see you next time. We got Connecticut and Seattle playing next game. That one's just starting, so I'll be covering that one a little later on. So everyone have a good night.